If you ain't ready to get hype, I need you to turn the channel right now because your boy is hype. Chicago Cubs get win number 89 on the season, and we got so much to talk about. Let's go. Oh, man. It feels good to get that monkey off the back, baby. Let me go ahead and just start right with it. That's right. You already know what we do here on Chicago Cubs Central. Anytime the Chicago Cubs win a baseball game, we go ahead and we fly that W flag. That's right. This is the 89th time this season we have flown the W flag for the Chicago Cubs. Listen, this team came out in a big way with a big win, so they deserve a big podcast and a big reception from us, the Chicago Cub fan base. We should be hyped. We should be excited because the team showed us that they still got heart. After losing 5 games straight, they finally come through for the boys. And listen, guys, I could not have been happier with the results of this game. I said on yesterday's episode, we needed a big game from who? From Matthew Boyd. Matthew Boyd gave us that. We also see the return of one Daniel Palencia coming in and pitching in the 6th inning, doing his thing, getting 3 outs. That's right. And then the rest of the bullpen held serve, and the Chicago Cubs went ahead and bludgeoned the New York Mets pitching staff in this game, putting up 10 runs on them. That's right, 10 runs on them in a nice blowout game, 10-3, which really should have been yesterday's game. The Chicago Cubs should have their 90th win of the season because they should have took care of business on Tuesday's game. But unfortunately, we can't look back. We got to keep looking forward. And right now, we celebrate win number 89 and the Chicago Cubs doing what they had to do. I'm your host, Mike Jones, here on Chicago Cubs Central. Remember, this is your number one spot for all things Chicago Cubs, baby. That's right. And go ahead and put them W's in the chat. It's been a long time since we did it. Put the W's in the chat for your boys because we took care of business getting win number 89. Let me tell you guys, I'm pumped, I'm hyped, I'm excited about it, and you should be too. This game started out with Ian Happ doubling to right, scoring Shaw and Busch in the 3rd. Busch had a really good hitting day. Matt Shaw had a really good hitting day. Moises Ballesteros comes up and singled to left and scored Horner off of that one. Then Suzuki doubled to left in the 3rd, and Happ scored and Ballesteros went to 3rd. And then Piquet Armstrong hit a sacrifice fly to right, and Ballesteros scored off of that, and then Suzuki went to 3rd. Matt Shaw homered in the 4th inning. And like I said, and that was, I think, was his 13th homer of the season. Alvarez homered to left, and that scored 2. And then Ballesteros scored on an error, and Piquet Armstrong was safe on the throwing error by the 3rd baseman. And he was safe at 2nd on that error. Then Crow Armstrong scored on a wild pitch after that, and then Busch homered to right center and scored Matt Shaw also. And then Juan Soto got a meaningless homer in the top of the 8th inning. And yeah, man, the Chicago Cubs did what they had to do scoring-wise. This is the offense that we saw for the first 3 months of this season. This is the type of offensive output that the Chicago Cubs can put together. We know this team is capable of doing it. Craig Counsell has to put the right people in place. Moises Ballesteros, Matt Shaw, Dansby Swanson, Nico Horner, Michael Busch. These are the names of the gentlemen that I believe going into the postseason that we need to be leaning on. These are the gentlemen that I believe we need to be depending on to bring us through and help us to have a deep postseason run. It's going to take some great pitching from our veteran pitchers and from our veteran relief pitchers, but our young guys are the scorers on this team. And Dan Swanson ain't necessarily young. Michael Busch really ain't necessarily young either. But I want to see Matt Shaw. I want to see Moises Ballesteros. I want to see Owen Casey come back. I want to see these guys get big moments, big playoff moments off jump, because these are the guys that we're going to trust in the future. These are the guys that we're going to trust in the future. Nico Horner's first opportunity, real chance to play meaningful playoff baseball with the Chicago Cubs. Same for Moises Ballesteros. Same for, I don't know if Moises is going to be on the team or not. I really hope he is. But, like I said, and, it really, really, really would do this team well to make sure that we have what we need in those positions and make sure, like I said, Matt Shaw gets some time. You got the veterans on the team. You got the Dansby Swansons. You got the Kyle Tuckers, but your young guys, PCA, Matt Shaw, Moises Ballesteros, Nico Horner, those guys are the guys we're looking at. Let these guys come out, have their coming out party. It's time for them to shine. It's time for your young cats to show on the offensive end as well as the defensive end what they are capable of doing. And I truly believe that the Chicago Cubs are capable of doing damage at the postseason when they play games like this. It was great to see. Really, really great to see. And again, guys, I mean, let's just talk about him for a minute. 256 batting average on the season now. What would the Chicago Cubs be without Michael Busch on a team that has Kyle Tucker, Seiya Suzuki, Pete Armstrong, Ian Happ, Dansby Swanson, Carson Kelly, on a team that has Justin Turner and all these other big pieces? Who would have thought that your best home run hitter of the season would be Michael Busch, who has 31 home runs, 84 RBIs, an OPS of 837, and a 256 batting average on the season after this game? Michael Busch has been outstanding for the Chicago Cubs. His defense, what he's been able to do, he doesn't make a lot of errors. Like I said, at first base, he's able to scoop up and grab balls that are thrown completely out of the direction. He's able to stretch. He's able to enforce double plays as well. He has great defensive prowess. And then at the plate, you're looking at somebody that could finish the season with the 260, 265 batting average, maybe another home run or two if he catches one. And you're looking at somebody with 87 to probably 90 RBIs. That's a really, 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 really good first baseman. Really, really, really good first baseman. Matt Shaw joins the company of people like Ernie Banks, people like Anthony Rizzo hitting, and people like Derek Lee hitting 30-plus home runs in a season. Michael Busch, who would have thought that he would have been this for the Chicago Cubs? Who would have thought? I didn't when we traded for him. I didn't know who this guy was when we traded for him. But he has been phenomenal for the Chicago Cubs. Great last season, even better this season. And he's trending upward. That's the best part. He's trending upward, reliable at first base every single day. Where would the Chicago Cubs be without Michael Busch? I know what the Chicago Cubs have been without some of these guys that are injured, and we'll talk about that right after this. I have been talking ad nauseum, and I still will continue to talk about the product, the brand that has changed my life and can change yours too. What's that product? It's Dubby. It's an all-natural energy supplement that you can take on the daily to help you get through those urges, those moments when you want to nap, then when you hit the cliff, if you had a long night the night before and need to get through another crazy day of the hustle and bustle, the 9 to 5, whatever you got going on. Dubby is your energy drink. That's right. Not to mention, when you buy a container of Dubby, it actually equals out to almost $1 per drink. You can mix it in with whatever you want, whether that be a juice, whether that be a water, whether that be some type of other energy flavored drink, whatever you want, you can mix Dubby with it and it will do the trick for you. Guys, I don't understand what you're waiting on. Dubby takes care of everything for you. All you have to do is go on to the Dubby website and place your order. And at this time, when you do that, all you have to do is put in Cubs Central Pod 2024. That's right, Cubs Central Pod 2024. And you get 10% off on your Dubby order. That's right. Listen, guys, I'm telling you right now, Jitterless Energy. They have all different types of different flavors for you. Dubby has what you need. Be better with Dubby. The injury bug for the Chicago Cubs has been a point of contention all season long. We have talked about the fact that we don't know how some of these injuries have happened or if there have been mishaps that have happened with some of these injuries. We have questions, we have things that we want to know about these injuries and just not understanding why these things are happening. Um, let's go down the list for of the Chicago Cubs and players that have been injured or are injured right now. Right now, the list looks like this: questionable day-to-day starting pitcher Cade Horton with a back injury, Miguel Amaya with an ankle injury, Kyle Tucker with a calf injury, Ryan Brazier with a groin injury, Daniel Palencia with the shoulder injury, which Daniel Palencia was activated tonight and did pitch in today's game. Justin Steele with the elbow injury, and Owen Casey with a concussion. These injuries have played a huge part in the Chicago Cubs season. Do I think that the Chicago Cubs, if they have a healthy Kyle Tucker throughout the whole season, do I think Chicago Cubs momentum propels them into winning into winning the Central Division? Yes, I do. Do I think that next year, if the Chicago Cubs have a healthy Kyle Tucker and they also add on some more pieces and review some of these lulls that they have, do I think they have a even better chance next year of winning the Central Division? Yes, I do. I still believe, even with what the Brewers accomplished this year, the Chicago Cubs are the better Central Division team. They're the best Central Division team in the division. I don't care. You can tell me about the Reds. Yes, the Chicago Cubs struggled to play the Reds this year. Yes. I don't know how you can make a case for the Cardinals or for the Pirates, but I mean, like I said, I guess you can. And then, like I said, everybody looks at that hot streak that the Brewers were on. Well, the Brewers blew their load right then and there because they have not looked the greatest since, and they have injuries. So we don't even know the Brewers lost one of their big pieces, and their starting pitcher, gosh, his name escapes me, but they lost a major piece with their starting pitcher, that would probably be the guy that would start game one, going down. And like I said, he's out for at least a month. So you theoretically you could get to a part where you see the Brewers have to play without one of their big major pieces. And again, I don't think their lineup produces in the playoffs like they did during the regular season. Call me crazy. I just don't see it. I don't see it. So I don't know. We'll have to see what happens. But like I said, I just don't believe that the Brewers are going to do anything in the postseason like what they did when they went through that crazy stretch. Brandon Woodruff was that pitcher. We'll just have to see what happens though, man. They have been known to find gems out of nowhere. So we'll just have to see what happens with that. But I still believe the Chicago Cubs have the best team in the division, even with these injuries. And I'm curious to see how we pivot and how we handle the offseason. I'm curious to see what happens with Kyle Tucker's contract. I'm curious to see what happens with the Chicago Cubs and what pieces do they think they need to go out and get and to add more to this team. Um, Again, like I said, Bushy hitting 31 home runs pretty much solidifies him as your everyday first baseman. You know what you got at second base with Nico Horner. You know what you got at shortstop with Dansby Swanson. And you know, like I said, you said you gave every indication that Matt Shaw will play third base. Do you pivot and go to maybe a platoon third base and try to go for Alex Bregman again? Do you maybe try to enter in those conversations with him again since he's opting out of his deal this season? At least that's what all the reports say. What do you think about Kyle Schwarber? Philly said they ain't letting him go, but I mean, if he wanted to come back to Chicago, if he said he really loved the Cubs and he wanted to come back, would you be willing to give him that money to have him come back? And is that Kyle Tucker's money you're going to eat into by getting Kyle Schwarber? Um, Very, very interesting season. Very, very interesting offseason ahead. We'll have coverage pretty much 3 to 4 times a week. And every time some big news drops, you know, I'll have an episode for you guys. But we got to prepare for the postseason. And yeah, the Chicago Cubs did so tonight. The Chicago Cubs, wild card home field advantage magic number is down to 2. 2 games. If you could take one against the Mets to handle the game against the Mets, the next game you have on Thursday against the Mets, and then take one against the Cardinals, then you pretty much solidify your spot. It'll be Shota Imanaga on the mound pitching for the Chicago Cubs, trying to nab that 90th win of the season. 90 wins. Shota is 9-7 with a 3.37 ERA. Shota has given up the home run ball. If the wind is blowing out, Shota will give up that home run ball, but he also knows how to work those pitches too. So we'll have to see what happens with that. But listen, don't sleep on the Chicago Cubs, y'all. It's not over with. It's not over with it yet at all. Go Cubs, go.
Thank you for watching another episode of Chicago Cubs Central, the #1 spot for all Chicago Cubs content. Remember to like, share, subscribe for more Cubs content.